So, did the mouse run up the clock and did you get Hickory Dickory Dock done? I hope so, because now, if you have, we get to go on to Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Let's look a little bit at Go Tell Aunt Rhody. She has two sharps, so we are in the key of D. F sharp and C sharp are the sharps. You will find that yours are Fs, because if you look at here, it's D string notes with an A string note. Open A, first finger B, open A, first finger B. Everything else is on the D string. So we're going to set our bow on the D level. And then look, we have some eighth notes in this one again. So we have long, short, short, long, long on the bows. 1, 2, tay, 3, 4. 1, 2, tay, 3, tay, 4. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. Long hold on that one. And then if we triage this a little bit, we have dum ba da 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 dum da, same da 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 dum. All it does is not do the G and the F sharp on this measure, just holds out that half note. Then we go right back to the beginning. Just like you've learned in all of this, is that with folk songs comes repetition. So save yourself some time, learn the measures, and then recognize the measures that are repeated. If you're having trouble with your shoulder rest, which many of us do, it's a part of the instrument that you kind of have to not touch, and I just knocked mine off. And in doing so, I think I'll give you a little bit of a lesson. If you hold your instrument in your left hand upside down, the shoulder part goes away from you. And then depending upon what kind of shoulder rest you have, then it just slides on the edge. You do have to take them off after every play unless you have a fancy case that will fit your shoulder rest, but really they put some pressure on the bottom of the instrument, and these ribs are only 3 millimeters thick. They're very, very thin. And then your back is also only at most 5 millimeters. On viola and violin, sorry, they're even thinner. But so you've got this really tiny thin piece of wood that you're putting some pressure on. So it's a good idea to just take it off and then get really good at how to put it on. Just slide it. So here, let's do a little bit of Go Tell Aunt Rhody. So we're going to go with your bow. So set up your position. Make sure you've got good rosin on your bow. I may need to rosin again actually, but... And get your finger on F sharp, and we're going to go long. So the rhythm is 1, 2, tay, 3, tay, 4, tay. Then all on the E string, D string again. Long, short, short, long. So that's your first two measures that repeats at the end here. Let's do the next two. So this is measure 3 and 4. Long, short, then F sharp, then E. And this is a piece where you might run into that, where you have the changing your finger at the same time as your bow. So that's part of your practice on this one, is to make sure that when your fingers change, make sure your bow changes at the same time. So then let's go on to measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to learn 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the rest you can do on your own because it's the same. So measure 5 starts on F sharp. long, short, long. If you together strings, do it again. So F sharp. Make sure your bow changes to the A string. I'm having a hard time on that up bow one. See how I'm playing D? We don't want to hear D in that one. There we go. So I just wasn't being clear about when my bow is changing to that A. And then now we're on the A string level for 3 notes. Then it repeats again. Good, I didn't tick the D that time. And then you know the last 4 measures are the same as the first 4. Very good. Now let's go on to row, row, row your boat. Let's do both of the intros on these today. So row, row, row your boat. This is a simplified version in 2/4, and it is a round, just like Are You Sleeping? So the first person starts, and 4 measures later, the second person starts. So we have D, G, G for 2 beats, because 2/4 has 2 quarter notes in each measure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Then quarter note. Then we have a tied quarter note. Remember that little slur line right there means a tie if it's on the same note, so you're going to hold that note for 4 counts. Then we go G, G, D, D, B, B, open G twice. And then D, C, B, A, G. Hold for 4 counts because it's a tie again. Now, because it's a round, you're going to then repeat that same bit 3 times. So let's play that first part. So we have only G and D string notes this time. So we have G, open G, set your bow, get your position up, relax. You know what, I realized something changed when I put my shoulder rest on, and now it's not quite in the right place for me to hold it. There we go. So G, open G, ready, go. G, 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 A, B, B, A, B, C, D, 2, 3, hold that for 4 counts, then G, third finger on the D string, open D, twice, B twice, G twice, then 2, 1, hold it out, 1, and then it repeats that 3 times. So once you get really good at the first few measures, then you can go ahead and go on to the done and dusted duets. I think the done and dusted duets on this one also include page 20, but the next video has the introduction to page 20, and then we're going to do some ear training. So we'll see you at the next video. Have a good week.